Example 1. You deposit $2,400 in a bank account that pays 8% per year, compounded annually. How much will you have after 7 years? So P is how much we started off with, so that's going to be 2,400. A is going to be how much we end up with, and we don't know that, so that's kind of our question mark. I is going to be the interest per compounding period, and the compounding period is per year. So it's going to be 8% per year, but I is going to be in decimal always. So we're going to take the percentage and we're going to convert it to a decimal by dividing by 100. N is going to be the number of compounding periods, which is going to be 7. And so overall, we get A equals P times 1 plus I to the N, which is going to be 2,400 times 1 plus 0.08 to the 7. When I type in the calculator, I tend to do the exponents first, but you don't have to. 1.08 to the 7 times 2,400. And that's going to be equal to 4,113.178. And the final answer, we're going to round it to the nearest penny. So what you're going to have, and you would normally do a whole, of course, therefore statement, would be $4,113.18. That would be the answer. So what we're going to do now is we are going to change the compounding period. We're going to change how often it compounds. So it's going to be actually pretty much the same thing as example number 1. So still depositing 2,400, still paying 8% per year. And the compounding though is now going to be semi-annually. And then how much still after 7 years? We should save this over here. Let's see if it's going to be higher or lower. So when we're doing our variables, so the P is still going to be, our principal is still 2,400. Nothing changed there. And then what we know is we know A is still unknown. Now we need the I. And the I is the interest per compounding period. Now the way we're going to think of that is, so in the whole year, we're going to be paying 8%. But what we have now is we're compounding it semi-annually, so twice a year. Let's assume those are equal. So how do we divide up 8% over each compounding period? It would be 4% each. Now how would you do that in a mathy way? Well, you would say, okay, so it's 8% per year, but there's 2 compounding periods per year. So it's going to be 4% per compounding period, which is going to be 0.04. So the I changes because of the semi-annually. The N is also going to change. So it's 7 years, but we're going to be doing it twice per year. So it's 7 years, but it's going to be 2 compounding periods per year, which is going to give us 14. So the N is going to be equal to 14. And then what we do is we happily go and plug in our formula. So P equals, not P equals, A equals P plus 1 plus I to the N. So A equals 2,400 times 1.04 to the 14. So 2,400 times 1.04 to the power of 14, which is going to be 4156.023, which we're going to say is $4,156.02. So how did that compare to when we compounded annually? So let's see. So when we compounded annually, we had a total of $4,113.18. When we compounded semi-annually, it was $4,156.02. So we got an extra 4156.02 minus 4113.18. So we earned an extra $42.84 just by going with something with a shorter compounding period. So the shorter the compounding period, the more interest that tends to accrue.